When you look at the price of Bitcoin right now, since you started there, what do you think it ultimately lands at? And what do you think the window is right now for it?
Billionaire investor Dan Morehead and founder of Pantera Capital is on record that Bitcoin is going much higher in the next 4 to 5 years.
Oh, you know, I've been saying this for a long time. It's roughly doubled every year for 12 years that we've been doing this. So I think it keeps doing that for at least a few more years. It's still a very low single-digit percentage of global wealth. So I think it could go up to 750,000 in the next 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so you're not in the million camp, though.
Not in the next 4 or 5 years, but in our lifetimes, yeah.
And understanding that, what does that mean for Solana versus Ethereum in 2026?
And where are you on Ethereum and Solana?
So I think...
Well, we know that Justin, Coinbase, and their Ethereum L2 base to launch its own token, meaning the largest crypto exchange in the United States is about to launch their own coin on Ethereum, their Ethereum L2, and funnel their users onto Ethereum. They are just thinking about this right now, as explained by the head of Base.
As we started pulling our head up from that and thinking about the next chapter, 2026 and beyond, we've asked ourselves, we're at tens of millions of people today. What does it look like for Base to meet for everyone on a global scale, for billions of people? And we didn't know all the answers, but we zeroed in on a few things. The first is that we believe that Base has to be a decentralized network. And we made good progress on this. Base is stage 1 today, but we also have a lot more work to do. Second, we believe at our core that builders, that creators, that the people participating in the economy have to be aligned participants. Because the economy can only work if we're the ones shaping it and benefiting from it. And then finally, we know that we need to keep pushing the boundaries of what we can do with crypto. Because the only way we're going to have this positive impact on the world is if we're willing to push boundaries and be creative and figure out how these new tools can unlock new systems for all of us. And so with those as the North Stars, we're going to be exploring a network token for Base. And I will be upfront with y'all. It's early, and I'm a little nervous, like my heart's racing sitting here on stage. And as we thought about sharing this like early exploration, I got all sorts of advice. People telling me, don't share it. You need to keep it close to your chest. It's too early. And I sat back in myself, and our team sat back in ourselves, and we said, what's the Base way to do this? And the Base way was we do it in the open. We don't have all the answers. We really don't. But we're going to figure it out. And we're going to figure it out together. Because we think this could be a really, really powerful tool for building the global economy that all of us believe in. And as we do that work, I want to make 3 commitments to all of you. The first, and this is just to kill the FUD, we're committed to building on Ethereum. This is the path. People are going to make all kinds of noise, but we benefit from being a part of a connected global economy. The second is that we're going to do this right. We've always done it right. Coinbase has been doing it right for 15 years. And Base, we're going to work with regulators, we're going to work with legislators, we're going to figure out what does it look like to do this in the best possible way. And then finally, we're going to do it in a based way. We're going to build in the open.
So the fact that Coinbase is throwing their full-on support for the Ethereum blockchain, not that they still don't like Solana, but they're saying we're building on Ethereum for a reason, this is signal. This is a green flag for Ethereum. But Ethereum versus Solana in 2026, which is better? Here's why billionaire investor Dan Morehead is choosing Solana.
How do you think about Ethereum versus Solana right now?
So in
terms of the better bet.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of important blockchains over time. Solana is the fastest, cheapest, most performant, and so it's actually had better performance than even Bitcoin over the last 4 years. And that's why we want to have access to normal investors to something that's not very well known, but actually has been outperformed.
Do you think that one, though, outperforms the other? They're used for different purposes. One, it's a winner-take-all. What's your thought?
No, it isn't. It's not like there's not a winner-take-all on the internet, right? We have lots of different internet companies. There will be lots of blockchains that are important. But our biggest position is Solana. We have 1.1 billion of Solana on our books.
But how many different protocols do you think long-term? You said, yes, there's lots of companies, but there's not lots of protocols on the internet.
Great question. I think there's a single-digit number of layer ones, things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. not thousands, but definitely not one.
And is there anything that you've seen come on the scene where you go, that technology is actually better?
Well, right now it's Solana. Our biggest position is Solana. We've had huge positions in Ethereum in the past. We used to be 100% Bitcoin. Something could come out tomorrow.
Is there anything out there, though, that's interesting to you? The reason I ask is I would hope that, Solana was created many years ago. Ethereum was created many years ago. Bitcoin was created many, many years ago.
Yeah.
I would like to think that technology and technologists have come up with better solutions since then.
Well, Solana could do, I think, 9 billion transactions a day, which is more than all capital markets combined. So
Right.
It's not obviously need the next thing past Solana.
So you think it just doesn't matter?
Yeah, and there might be other use cases, other like Ripple's going after Swift, Bitcoin's digital gold. There's several different major use cases, but Solana's very good at the performant blockchain.
Now, by the way, just announced, Dan Moorhead and Pantera Capital have raised $1.25 billion to convert a NASDAQ company into a Solana treasury company, like what Michael Saylor did for MicroStrategy, like what Tom Lee did with BitMine, and now Dan Moorhead with Solana.
Help explain what's going on here. I want to understand what you're doing, but also this sort of larger phenomena of these treasury companies and how we and the public and investors should think about them.
Sure. So for 12 years, we've been trying to provide access, but it's normally to very institutional investors. This is the first product we've ever offered that you can just go buy at your brokerage account. So it allows access to cryptocurrencies to kind of normal investors. And so far, Solana doesn't even have an ETF, so it's very, very difficult for a normal investor to get access to Solana.
And is this a levered fund?
No, it's just a way to own Solana, get yields on Solana with no leverage. It's a very simple company, actually. All it does is just buy Solana.
Just buys Solana. And over time, as more people get access to the actual coins, how do you think that changes the dynamic with the treasury companies and the ETFs? I mean, I think that's one of the big questions is people can buy Bitcoin directly through a Coinbase or whatever, or they can buy Solana, or they can buy it now through a treasury. And how you see over time that sort of mix taking place.
Yeah, there's an evolution. We launched the first Bitcoin fund in the world. That was the easiest way to get access. Then now an ETF is very easy. So you don't have to get a wallet. You don't have to do all these complicated things. That's going to happen to each of these major currencies like Solana. Right now there's no ETF. It's very difficult to get. Most people don't have a Coinbase wallet. So for people with a brokerage account, this is the easiest way to get access.
And I think you can own both. Both I see doing well this cycle. Ethereum seems to be what the institutions like, and Solana seems to be what average people, retail, likes. For example, case in point, the TVL on Pump Fund's DEX, PumpSwap, breaks new highs above $330 million. This is on Solana. The DEX's TVL high came just weeks after Pump Fund introduced a new fee structure that rewards creators of smaller tokens. They are really becoming a Twitch and also Kick competitor. The update changes how creator fees work. Creators of smaller cap tokens will receive higher creator fees, but the share of fees given to creators drops as the token's market cap grows. Pump Fund says the change makes it easier for new, smaller projects to get off the ground. In a direct quote, "Now creating on Pump Fund will be 10x more rewarding, meaning we'll see an exponential increase in talent onboarding to Pump Fund from streamers to startups." Meaning whether you're a streamer trying to launch your own coin, a startup trying to launch your own coin, in the past, especially streamers, they went to Kick or they went to Twitch. Pump Fund is now the only streaming platform that truly rewards smaller creators and their communities.
Pump Fund team just turned being a creator into the modern day version of like e-commerce, crypto, Forex. You don't need a job anymore. You don't need to be working a 9 to 5. You don't need to be going to college. You can just be a streamer. You can just be a creator on Pump Fund. It is a legitimate avenue. If you can garner attention, it is a legitimate avenue to a career. That's where we're at now. Twitch does not support its smaller creators, even if you have a decently sized community. Kick doesn't. Pump Fund is the only content creation platform that supports people with a small, up-and-coming community.
And like all, we see tomorrow.